Today on Ask This Old House.
In Nashville, I'll show you how to turn an original door into a Dutch door. We're actually going to cut the door right down the center of this style right here.
Oh, wow, this is great. Thank you so much, Tommy.
It was my pleasure.
After 7 years, we feel like the landscaping needs just a little bit of updating. And we've got a particular problem over here, which is this dogwood tree.
Sometimes you could get a whole new look in your yard without buying any plants, and I'll show you how.
And if you hear a gurgle at your sink, it's not a good sign. I'll show you how to fix it.
Hi there, I'm Kevin O'Connor, and welcome back to Ask This Old House, where we love hearing from you, so make sure you keep your questions and your emails coming. Hey there, Richard.
Hey, how are you?
Boy, Tommy is off to the country music capital of the world, and you are stuck here with me in the loft.
Well, I thought it was my opportunity to teach you yet a little bit more about plumbing.
One of these days it's going to sink in.
Recently I was out of the house, and I flushed the toilet.
I would hope so.
And so I immediately said, grab the cameras, take a look.
You always bring a camera.
Yeah. Now listen.
Oh. The elusive gurgle.
So that tells me, without looking, that that toilet wasn't vented.
Okay.
It normally be vented through the lavatory, a thing called a wet vent.
So what is it that I'm hearing? What is that gurgle? Where's it coming
When
from?
that slug of water leaves the toilet, it's going there, and there's air in the pipe, and it's going to be looking for air behind that slug of water, and it needs a place to find it. The only place I could actually find it was pulling it the wrong way down through the drain right here.
Right next to the toilet.
Now, when something is not vented, like this one was, this is what you're going to get.
The gurgling that's coming from that bottle.
Gurgle, gurgle,
is
gurgle.
the gurgle that we heard
Correct.
in the sink.
Now, if you do one thing, and that's introduce a vent.
So now you've allowed the air to come.
Okay.
You okay there?
I'm really
Yeah, you'll do anything.
full contact plumbing. Look at the, see it?
Perfect. No
Yeah.
bubbles, no gurgle.
Right. So take a look what was underneath here.
So this is interesting. That's underneath the sink.
That's right. So this is a full S trap, and it's absolutely illegal, and it doesn't allow for venting of the toilet. Mm-hmm. So here it is right here. That big pipe goes by this way. It's looking for air, and it's going to pull this way, and it's going to pull down through the trap. Normally this is half filled with water right here, the trap.
Yeah.
And so this is fully illegal because it's not vented, and it's a full S. Full S means water can come here, comes up this short leg, and now it can actually, by a siphon, can actually pull the trap empty, and that means sewer gas can come in the house.
And so even though we're flushing the toilet, they're connected, and that's why
Absolutely.
it's pulling from the sink.
Absolutely. The way it's supposed to be is right here. If you look behind it, it should come down from the sink. Here's the trap, and the water comes this way, and then there's a pipe right here. This is called a wet vent.
Yep.
This connects down to the big pipe where that slug of water goes by from the toilet, and this continues up inside the house, connects to the highest point up inside the vent system inside the building.
S-trap wrong, P-trap
Correct.
proper.
That's right.
I mean, how are you going to fix it for that guy?
Well, to do it correctly, instead of this, hold that up, you would introduce a T like this and then try to extend this pipe outside and then up outside the outside of the building or back into the inside the building and connect back at the top.
A lot of work at this stage.
Correct. In some jurisdictions, they let you do this, which is a thing called a mechanical vent. And that would sit right here underneath the flood level of the vanity.
Yeah.
And it would allow air to come in this way to break the vacuum when that slug of water goes by.
No gurgle.
But wouldn't let sewer gas come out this way.
Ah, gotcha. All right. So good information.
Great.
And we appreciate when you flush.
That's right. Everybody does.
Always.
Want to tackle all your home improvement projects with confidence? Join This Old House Insider, a new streaming service from This Old House, the iconic Emmy-winning series that inspired a generation of home enthusiasts. Stream over 1,000 episodes of This Old House and Ask This Old House commercial-free. Watch it all in the This Old House app and join live online Q&As with our experts. Best of all, you can try Insider free for 7 days. To join, go to thisoldhousemembership.com.
Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Tommy. Welcome to Nashville.
Thank you. This is home of country music.
What, do you love country music?
I'm a big country music fan.
Well, you're in the right place.
I heard that. And I like your house.
Thank you so much. We love it too. It was built in 1918, and I live here with my husband and my 2 boys.
Oh, great.
That's actually what I emailed you about.
All right, well, let's see what you have.
So my boys are 10 and 4,
Uh-huh.
and they love to play here.
Oh, in the side yard?
Yeah.
Well, this is nice. It has a gate and you're away from the traffic.
It's kind of perfect for them, but there is something with the door that I'd like to show you.
Okay. This door right here?
Yes. It opens right onto the living room.
Oh, it's nice. All right, so what's the problem?
Well, I love a lot of things about the door, how it kind of matches the house, and I think it might be original even. But right now it's kind of hard for me to hear the boys when they're out there, and I'd love to keep a better eye on them.
Yeah, so what do you want to do?
I was thinking about replacing it with a Dutch door.
Oh, a Dutch door. So you want to keep the top open when the boys are outside playing?
Yeah, I think it'd be really nice.
Well, you can actually buy Dutch doors, which means we'd have to take the whole unit out and replace it with a new one. But I really like the character of this door. I like the glass at the top, the inset panels, the stiles and rails, and this hardware. You know, what about if we took this door and we cut it right here and made it a Dutch door?
I would love that.
All right, well, let's get some tools and we can get started.
Great.
All right, we've got our workstation set up outside to keep the mess outside.
I appreciate that.
Well, most of it anyway. Okay, so now I've marked the door where we're going to cut it.
Sure.
Now your door has 2 hinges. We need to add 2 more hinges.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so when we cut the door here in the middle, I need to add a hinge here and here, right where I marked the location of it. So I'm going to take a hinge, I'm going to lay it over my marks and trace around the outside, and that will be where I mortise it on the door.
Great.
And then the bottom. Okay, and now I'll just chisel it out.
So how do you know how deep to chisel?
Right now I'm estimating the thickness of the hinge, so I don't want to go any deeper than that. I'm cutting the grain of the wood so that when I chisel out these little pieces, I don't want this part to splinter off.
That looks perfect.
Okay, that's it right there. All right, now I'll chisel the next one down. Okay, so now that I've mortised for the hinges on the door, the next thing I want to do is I want to install the hinges on the door. Now we can trace and mortise the hinges on the door jamb. Now we added 2 hinges to the door and we want all the hinges to match, so we're going to replace your existing hinges with 2 new ones. Your old hinge is much thicker than the new hinge.
All right.
So what we need to do is put a filler in behind it to bring it flush. This is just a scrap piece of cardboard. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut the door right down the center of this stile right here.
Exciting.
Yeah, now I look at this deadbolt right here. I really don't like the location of it. Do you use it?
No, we don't. We have another one on the jamb.
Oh, okay. So we can take this out and patch it?
Mm-hmm.
We use the plug from the hole saw to fill the deadbolt hole. We use polyurethane glue for the plug, which is water activated. We'll fill the mortise on the side of the door with wood glue and a Dutchman. Okay, so now the polyurethane glue has dried and it's holding that plug in really good.
Wow, look how much that expanded.
Well, that's the benefit of that. It expands and will hold whatever you're trying to glue right in there. All right, both patches are in on the face and on the side, and the door is sanded.
Once we paint this, you won't even be able to tell.
No, it should blend right in.
Does that mean we're ready for the big cut?
Not quite yet. If I cut the door now, that means I'll have a gap on the center of the door, the thickness of the blade, and that will let air in and out. We don't want that to happen. So what I need to do is cut 2 wedge fillers that are going to go in that center. All right, here's our 2 pieces. We have a taper on the top of this piece and a taper on the bottom of this piece. They'll go in that center section of the door and fit like that. Now when you open the top door and you bring it in, it'll separate the two and create a little bit of a gap. As they close, the gap will become tight, sealing the air out. Now I have to cut the space in the door this thick. So our centerpiece will go in like this, right in the door.
Great.
We'll attach this piece to the underside of the top section, then hang the door and see how it fits. I'll get the door up where it goes if you want to put the hinge pins in.
Great, so exciting.
Okay. That's good. Okay, good. Now the next one. Good. Now we'll get the bottom one. Now let's see how it fits.
Oh, wow, this is great.
All right, that's pretty good. Now let's close the top and see what we have. You see, we still have a gap right there. So now we can attach the filler to the bottom section of the door and then fine-tune the fit.
Now you can watch This Old House and Ask This Old House anytime, anywhere. Download our new app to stream full episodes to your tablet, your TV, and your phone. Binge on classic episodes, catch up on recent renovation, and get step-by-step help projects all around the house. And best of all, it's free. The most trusted home improvement information is now available on your Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, iOS, and Android devices. Download the This Old House streaming app today.
Okay, we were able to turn your door into a Dutch door.
Wonderful.
All you have to do is paint it.
Sure.
Now I've installed a barrel latch right here, so when you unlock it, you can just open the top and close the bottom. And now you can hear your boys playing in the yard.
This is so great. Thank you so much, Tommy, and thank you for coming to Nashville.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
You know, I like that trick of setting the new hinges while the old door is still hung, right? Most people be inclined to take it off, do the work, and then put the hinges back on later. But boy, that's the perfect time to do it, isn't it?
Well, I like it. To me, it saves a step. I mean, I could take the door off and put the hinges down. Then I got to measure from there and transfer those measurements.
Right.
Whenever you're trying to measure something, you always run the risk of a mistake.
Sure.
So this solves that problem.
The other thing I like is the opposing bevels, so that when top meets bottom of door, they're nice and tight. And I was thinking, you probably could have cut that door in half at an angle. That would have given you opposing bevels. but it really wouldn't have been tight.
No, it wouldn't have been tight. The door would have had to bypass, go further on the top to make that tight, and that wouldn't be right.
Yeah, because you still would have taken away the thickness of the blade, so the door would have gotten a little smaller.
And the thicker the blade, the wider the gap.
Yeah.
But also that piece, those two pieces that went on each door, also stiffened that door. Because you think of that style right there. I cut it in half.
Oh, right.
So it went from 5 inches roughly down to 2.5 inches. So now it's weaker. So I wanted to add some strength back to that part of the door. So I then positioned it right across and attached it to the rails and glued it.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. That's a good one too. Cool. All right, so Nashville. I know you're a big country music fan. Did you get to take in any local acts?
We get to go to the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, you took in some local music too.
Local music.
Who'd you see?
Vince Gill. He's
Classic.
He's fantastic.
So I guess if we get any more letters from Nashville, you're the guy?
I'm the guy.
All right, sounds good.
Jen, thanks for coming by today.
Thanks for having me, Chris. This place looks incredible.
Well, thank you. We built the place about 7 years ago and worked with a landscape designer on the backyard, and we really like how it turned out.
I mean, you have a sitting area, beautiful patio, a sitting wall, focal points out in the garden. Love your red twig dogwood, and your plantings are amazing.
Well, thank you. So the reason I emailed you, Jen, is after 7 years, we feel like the landscaping needs just a little bit of updating. And we've got a particular problem over here, which is this dogwood tree. As part of the original design, it was acting as a screen between our backyard and our neighbor's backyard. And it's since died, so that's something we need to address.
Right, because that is a crucial focal point between you and your neighbors when you're sitting on your patio. You want some privacy, right?
Exactly.
So, as landscape designers, we try to put the right plant in the right place. But sometimes that changes due to environmental conditions, such as this canopy of this walnut tree. I suspect 7 years ago wasn't extending this far into the garden.
True.
So the shade patterns, the sun patterns change, and I think the shade has stunted the growth of these two viburnums right here, and that one definitely got more sunlight. Dogwoods are pretty shade tolerant, so I'm not exactly sure what caused it to die, but the same principle applies. Either way, I have an idea. Since you love all the plants that you have here, I think we could play some landscape checkers with your plants here, and then you don't have to go out and buy any new ones.
Sounds like a great idea.
All right, let's see what we could do.
Okay.
So let's start with taking this dogwood out. Since we're not trying to save this tree, we can break down the root ball to make it easier to get out.
All right, should we give it a try?
Let's do it. You want to grab from the basket or up here?
I'll do the basket. How's it? There we go.
Nice. Let's roll it this way. We'll move the big viburnum to the dogwood's place since it could do most of the screening. We'll be a little more careful with this one since this is going to be our new screen plant. All right, Chris, I think we're good.
Okay.
Well, let's try it. So what we're going to do is tip the viburnum this way onto the tarp and into the other hole.
Okay.
All right, so let's give it a shot and see what happens. So far, so good. All right.
Okay.
Let's scoot it this way so we can position it to the hole. So if you want to push, and I'll pull. Okay, now let's go this way, and then we'll position it in the hole.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, let's stand this guy up. Wow, that looks pretty good, Chris.
All right.
Think that's good?
That looks good.
To replace the hole left by the big viburnum, we'll dig up the smaller one and put it in its place. All right, I think we got it.
Yep.
So let's lift this up, Chris. I'll get to the bottom. I'm gonna grab this part of the basket. Okay, you go first. All right, the hole looks big enough. Now just hold it, Chris, and we'll see if that's a good face.
Okay.
I think that looks good because you want it from the patio side, and the back side will fill out with the new sunlight.
All right, looks good.
All right, so we'll go ahead and backfill this one now. For any transplant, it's always a good idea to add some starter fertilizer to stimulate the roots. Just broadcast it evenly around the plant. Okay, we have the backbone of the project in, the structure of these viburnums. That one was already there, right? And this one is an amazing screen from your patio right here. And then this one from underneath the walnut tree is going to provide a beautiful screen in the future, now that's going to get a little more sunlight. So, but let's look at the blank areas in the ground here. Your stepping stone pathway is covered by these perennials. This is a beautiful coneflower, echinacea. So what I'd like to do is dig it up, cut it in half and divide it and put it around to fill in the blank areas.
Great.
So just try to get a little root ball around it because the perennials they're going to be nowhere like those viburnums. I have to go around it. So what I think we could do is take these 2 plants and make them into 4 plants. So get your shovel.
Okay.
Lay the plant down.
This doesn't hurt the plant at all?
No, the plant's going to thrive even more.
Okay.
Cut it right in half, and we'll
Okay.
get water on them right away after we transplant. Some might break off, but you'll have the roots.
Hey Jen, what about this fern here? It seems way overgrown. Can we move that?
It kind of has outgrown its space. What are you thinking?
I don't know, maybe one of these blank spots over here?
Now you're thinking like a designer. I think that's perfect. It would give this mountain laurel much more space to grow into. This one will be tucked right into the stone, so might take a few shovels. Perfect, Chris. I'm gonna pull it up a little bit. I'm gonna bring some of the soil over there. All right. We'll cover the bed with mulch and give all the plants a good watering.
Wow, Jen, I love how it turned out. It looks great, and I'm especially glad that it's true to the original design.
All we did is play checkers with your existing plants. One thing to remember is that landscapes are fluid and they're forever changing. Things are going to grow at different rates and shapes. So you just got to keep on top of pruning. In your situation, this was free. Anyone could do this at their own home. So I really hope you enjoy it.
That was great. I love it, and I will. Thank you.
Great. Take care.
Next time on Ask This Old House.
This rain chain is both decorative and functional, and I'll show you how to install one.
There's a right paintbrush for every job. I'll help you to pick the right one.
I'll replace an entire bathroom vanity, cabinet, countertop, sink, and faucet.
And I'll show you some options to get a professional looking closet at a DIY price.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.